again, and today guys, I'm actually here doing a video that I usually don't. It's the first kind of video I actually done actually. Now, this kind, because the video I'm about to do, I never done this kind of video before, and the reason why I feel like I should do it is because I feel like, well, the information I might give might actually help to prove in some way of, well, the topic I'm going to talk about, pretty much. Prove why old anime is still good. Like, I'm replying to the Anime Man's video of his new video he just uploaded. The video known as, "Is the old anime still good?" Now, before this, I'm not gonna be. It's not a rant video. It's not a rant video because I actually like the Anime Man. I like his channel. I like his video, and I like the video he was doing on because I really respected his personal opinion and his personal thoughts on the video. But I feel like the main reason why I want to reply to this video through a video is because I feel like as an anime watch, as one of the newer anime watchers, I feel like to fully make the new anime watchers understand why the old anime are still good anime, I feel like you need someone in there that's actually part of the newer anime community, like not the older generation, because there are still gonna be people like still more, because the Anime Man, we know he's been to anime for a fucking long time. Like he's been in it since the mid or late 1900s. I don't fully remember when he said when he started like in that way. Now, by the way, guys, I've not been a long subscriber to the Anime Man, but I have heard of him quite a few times, and of course I'm subscribed to him now. And I'm not even I'm not as one of the longer YouTubers I've been subscribed to him. I'm not been subscribed to him as long as other YouTubers have. But the reason why I want to reply, because I feel like to help him out, really, in a way you can think about it, like to bring his message out why old anime is still good, why it's still good. Because I am an anime review. Because my channel is it's a reviewing channel. My channel is a reviewing channel. I review on anime. And of course, I need to have, of course, knowledge of anime to be able to review anime. Unfortunately, a lot of people might be thinking, wait, Connor, you're not, why you call yourself a new anime watcher? Because I remember correct, if you guys, a lot of people, I remember correct you telling us that you've been watching anime since you were in year 7, and you're 17, 18 soon this year, so you'll be, because people should know I'm born on October the 30th, 1998, so that means I'll be 18 this year in October the 30th, so 2016, so back in 2010, I watched anime, so I started watching anime, so I've been watching anime for like 6 years, and a lot of people might feel like you're an old anime watcher. Literally, a lot of people think like that, but I'm just telling you that is the wrong way of thinking. Because when it comes to anime, animation actually takes a long time to improve. Literally a long time, like 10 years worth. Because 10 years worth time, the animation will still look roughly the same until, of course, its 10th year when it starts to change. Like, that's what I've got to say. Now, and unfortunately, like I said, I only been in anime for 6 years, so I have not fully seen the full evolution. Now, it has started to change, like, anime, because in our generation, it has now improved more than 10 years. It's now about 5 years, like, 5 years worth, so it's halved, so 5 years worth, animation has improved. It has now improved from the 2010 animation style. It has improved in 5 years worth. So that it just shows you that it has halved, it has decreased because of our technology. But like I said, as a new anime watcher, to be able to describe old anime, I can still say as a newer anime watcher, because I've been to anime from the, like, I forget, I started anime in 2010s, which a lot of people listening, a lot of main anime watchers are classified as still newer anime watcher, because animation is still, you could say, very good. There's, unfortunately, old animation, like I said, like when people say, it's not as great as animation we have now, because it's old. There's no way denying it. So you can't deny the animation is bad in a newer standpoint. But that means, of course, because of that, a lot of the newer anime watchers from the year 2010s, and maybe mid 2000, and maybe the mid 2010 anime watchers, the 2010 anime watchers like me, might not see the appeal of the older anime because of how bad the animation or how bad, you could say, the story is. A lot of people like to say who've been into anime from 2010s. Now, as someone who is from the 2010 generation of anime watchers, lucky for me, even though I'm not an old anime watcher, 6 years worth of watching anime is a good enough length point to understand how anime works, how anime is produced, how each individual anime could be good no matter what time it came out of. Because at least you'll be in an anime, because for a normal human being, any form of fandom you're into, usually it takes you about, if you get cast for 3 years worth, you'll still be classified as a meh amateur. But once you reach the 5 or 6 year mark, you'll be started to get as more respectable, or classified as the average watchers of the main fandom. Because as you're also on the average, that means you'll also know certain information that only the main fandom will know. And because of that, in the anime format, I have now known the understanding of anime, like how different anime works, how you can tell the difference to different types of anime, and also which is an anime and which is not an anime. You can tell the difference through that as well. Now, like I said, I've been to anime for 6 years. For 6 years, I've been into anime, and this channel has been around for 2 years. I think that's how long this channel has been around for, 3 or 2 years. I think 2 years. I think if I remember correct, 2 years. I think it's the correct. How many years this channel has been on? My old channel, but I've been doing YouTube for 3 years. Cause my old channel was like a year worth, but unfortunately got taken down. Then so this channel has been up for 2 years, Now, but as I've been into anime for 6 years, I have gained information. I have gained enough information to be able to review, criticize, and understand how anime works, pretty much, and how to understand how to review said animes, like how to review it and see if this anime is good. And like I said, replying to the Anime Man's anime saying, is the old anime still good? And when it comes to reviewing old anime, one thing about reviewing old anime is that as your reviewer, you cannot judge the anime from you cannot fully judge the anime through your personal taste. Like you still can do it from personal taste as well, but don't forget, you're reviewing it. You're giving it a point of view. You're giving it a neutral point of view, like a news reporter. News reporters, I like to thanks to be doing media now. I'm learning more about how news reporters work, so I actually have to give a bit thanks to that. I've actually got more information now. But news reporters, they have to be neutral with all of their shit. And don't forget, news reporters, they review what's going on. And reviewing means you have to be neutral. And neutral, that means you cannot fully say one side of the coin. It means you have to say the negative points and the good points of that side series. And don't forget, you also need to judge on when this anime came out. Like, the animation could be goddamn awful for this day of age, but you cannot judge it from this day and age anime style. If you do that, you're pretty much saying that's a bad anime, when in fact that's not the case. Because for me, I have now watched some old anime. Like, I've watched Chobits. Does anybody remember Chobits? Anything from the older generation, or maybe the new generation if you've watched it? Like, again, like me, I'm on the new generation. I watched Chobits. And Chobits, if I remember correct, did that came out like manga? Like, mid-1900s? And maybe came out in near the end of 1900s or the beginning of 2000 or the year 2000s. I can't fully remember when when I read when it came out. But Chobits, the anime, I believe it came out maybe the end of the 1900s or the beginning of the year 2000s. So the animation style should be roughly the same. Because, like I said, back then, animation style doesn't change until 10 years' time. That's when it starts to change. Of course, now, like, it's halved to that to 5 or 3 or 4 years' time. But don't forget, that means you have to judge it not by present day animation style, but you need to judge it by when the anime came out, and judge it how the animation style was like back then when it comes to judging animation of that specific anime. Now, like I said, not just animation is the key to anime. The story, the character development, like everything that involves anything to do with media, any form of media that involves anime, movies, or anything, you need to like be able to judge that series by those specific areas, and of course base it on the time it first came out. Because don't forget, a lot of things were different back then. Like, Chobits came out, like I said, before like the internet, you could say it as it now. It was pretty much, the internet was mainly used as email. Like, email. Just email. Like, I remember then. I remember the internet back like when I was in school. Like the start of the year 2000s. It was still in that day and age where social media did not exist except for email. Like this, maybe, I do remember correctly, we did start to get some search files where you can look for information, so you don't have to go to the library or anything, you just use the internet. That started, but we did not get like videos or anything until 2006. 2005, 2006. That's when YouTube came out, guys, by the way, if you guys don't know. So that's when YouTube came out, around end of 2005 to beginning of 2006, that's when YouTube came out. And one of the first video websites to come around. And of course, that's when the big craze of video and the internet fully started to change to media and how it is today. Now, I know all of it's not fully connected to what I'm talking about, or I'm trying to reply to the anime man, but I do believe there are some connections to everything I'm saying that's not fully about anime. It still has some full connection when I'm talking about replying to the anime man's reason why the old anime is still good. Now, like I said, the anime man, he said, and in detail as well, that old anime is still good. And I agree with him, old anime is still good. Now, and he also does say personal taste also involved as well. And I can't deny, I'm one of those few people who don't get into old anime that quickly. Like, it takes me a while before I'm able to start watching that old anime. Because it takes me a long time. Like, I can't deny, I only started watching Dragon Ball a few months ago. I only started watching Dragon Ball then, and I'm still on the normal Dragon Ball, like the first Dragon Ball series. And like I said, only a few months ago I started, so it just shows you. And wasn't it old? The first Dragon Ball came around, the anime came around the year 1980s. That's when it first came out, if I'm correct. 1980s, when it first came out, the Dragon Ball series. That's when it first came out. So, this shows you it did take me a while, but I can't deny, I am actually enjoying the heck out of Dragon Ball. Surprisingly. And I'm someone who was, like I said, I'll get a 2010 anime watcher. One of the newer anime watchers. So that means, and a lot of new anime watchers' perspectives might feel like, that animation's so old, it's so bad, it's so cheesy. And I could deny, in this day's standards, it is. But I'm watching it, not just for the animation, but as a bit of was going to review it, I was not going to review it for its animation style based on today's standard. I would review it from back then. Then I would judge it accordingly. And actually, for animation style back then, I'd say for back then in the 1980s, that was this animation style was like mid-1990s animation style. Like the 1880s style was like, this animation style, even though it came in the 1980s, this animation style looked like the 1990s, mid-1990s anime style. That's how I could say. That means, for back then, the animation style was good, like fucking good. For back then, which I got to say, that's why I said I'll give that a high mark for animation from back then. Now, like I said, animation doesn't always do how it makes a good anime. Story, character plots, like all that is also needed as well. And don't forget, when it comes to comedy series, there's some comedy aspects that can only people from, like I said, like the anime said, from the 1900s or the early 2000s will fully understand, who lived then will understand these jokes, because they know the reason behind these jokes, because they know the truth behind these jokes, and they can see how it's laughable. Now, Chobits, like I said, back to Chobits. Internet. Robotic internet robots. But computers were what they're supposed to be. Computers. Like, they're supposed to be computers. And what these computers do... Now, the anime just uses a different anime, which still uses computers and stuff. And more normal computers. I did not watch Spirit... I didn't watch Lane. I'm not very good at its name. Sorry for anime man if you're actually watching this. Sorry I missed making up with the name because I've not really watched it. But Spirit is Lane. Okay, I got it. I know it's Lane. I know that part of its name is Lane, but I cannot fully say its full name. I need to get its full name right. And actually, if you want to, I maybe watch that anime. It might take me a while, but I will try and maybe watch that anime, and actually judge it accordingly from when it came out, and of course, my enjoyment level, like what I did with Dragon Ball, because I'm actually surprised I'm enjoying it from its old animation style. Now, judging from Chobits, who also uses computers, robotic, human-looking computers, but they still use the same similar aspect of computer style that our computers somewhat use today, with a more higher degree. But the computer style this was based on, this is what back then, what the children and the adults back then want the internet to be like. This is what they wanted to be like, and of course, it happened, of course, in this day and age. So, seeing this kind of gag, or seeing this form of, like, with our main character, he said he wanted to watch internet porn videos. That's what he was dying for every time he wanted a Persocom. He really wanted a computer so he could watch internet porn. But in our day and age, that joke won't be... It'd be disturbing, that joke, actually. Like, back then, the joke was scary disturbing, but yet again, it will be funny, because back then, you feel like, that's not going to be possible, because it's impossible. But in our day and age, as it's possible now, that joke would just be, like, cringy, because it's possible, and it's wrong to think about, in a way. So it won't be laughable. Because of that, and from the generation standpoint, if that's why you cannot judge it from our time period, judge it from back when it first came out. How good comedy it would, to the people back then who were watching it would feel like. And from my personal standpoint, when I see it through their eyes, that was actually a good idea, because I'm one of those kind of people who actually would laugh at dirty jokes. I'm lucky I can laugh at dirty jokes. But if not thanks to me to laugh at dirty jokes, I don't think I would be able to properly criticize this series, but through their standpoint, because I feel like I'll be more judging it from my generation standpoint. But I'm able to judge it from not just my generation standpoint, but also from the older generation standpoint. Now, like I said, animation Chobits back then, actually, even from back then, it was just mild. Like, it actually had a low anime budget. Chobits anime itself was fucking good. I actually enjoyed it. And the characters, I really enjoyed the comedy, the story, and the sweet romance between Chi and our main character. Can't fucking remember his name for some reason. I fucking cannot remember his name. Even though I started reading the manga. I got the manga. Like, I don't own it. I got it from the college library. Yeah, I found it in that college library, guys. We got manga in our college library. But yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I found it there, and I'm reading it. I'm reading volume 1, and I'm enjoying it so far. But the art style and, of course, animation of it was quite low par for back then. And even though I've seen actually anime watchers have been into anime for even longer, back before even Chobits came out, they even said that the animation quality for that anime was quite low for its time, which is unfortunate. But it was still good animation at least, so I enjoyed the anime, and I really like the anime. I can't deny, I think Chobits is one of my personal favorites, because I just really like Chobits. I really like Chobits. Like, it got me tear-jerking. It's one of the first anime that made me tear-jerked, if you're not including Clannad, because Clannad, to me, is a masterpiece. And did they came out in 2006? Animation style was high! Animation style was like on par with 2010 anime styles. Just shows you. But this just shows you guys that even old anime can still be good. No matter from the animation style of it, if the story is good, and if you judge it from the category, it's still very good. Like, old anime is still very good. And this is coming from someone, like I said, it's from a 2010 watcher. Like, the newer anime watchers. I'm one of those anime watchers that people might, like, our generation feel like, really? Do you think that anime is good? Because this animation's old, man, yeah. But unfortunately, I'm not someone who judges like that. And I feel like, as someone who is, like I said, part of the 2010 watchers, who's saying old anime is still good, I cannot deny it still has its flaws because of how old it is. And if I am going to recommend to anybody, I only recommend anybody who has been to anime for a long time, because, like I said, at least for 3 years. If you've been to anime for 3 years, then I would recommend you start maybe watching some of the old anime, because from this generation, I'm talking about, from this generation, if you've been to anime for 3 years at max, at the minimum, if you've been to anime for 3 years, that's when I feel like I could start recommend some of these old anime. I think also, if you think about, I cannot deny, I actually watch a lot of these older anime. My early standpoints of when I first got into anime. So the only reason why I could fully also understand it then, because I did not fully have that much knowledge of anime and animation style. Because of that, I was able to enjoy it and did not care about the animation style. Yeah. And so that's part of the reason why I was able to see myself as those guys, even though I was not like those guys back then. I was still a 2010 anime watcher. And my first anime I watched was High School Dead, which is also, again, a 2010 anime, precisely. It came out, the anime itself came out in the year 2010, and I watched it in 2010. But I watched it dubbed, so it was like late 2010. It was late 2010, like mid or late 2010. That's when I started watching the anime. And for back then, that was actually a rare coincidence to find an anime series that came out in Japan in the year 2000. It was like the year 1 year, but then it came out in the dub version on the same year. For back then, that was actually quite a rare occurrence because now, of course, in our generation, anime does come out like a few days after the anime is released in Japan. It starts getting dubbed in this country, in our English, in our language. But back then, it took them a year or 2 years worth to release a dub anime of Pacific series. So seeing anime with the dub come out in the same year that the anime originally came out, that was I cannot deny that. From my point of view now, because as an experienced anime watcher and reviewer, I'm actually giving props to how they. I'm glad they did that because because it was not thanks to that I would have not known what High School Dead was. I wouldn't have known. It might be a different anime, or maybe I didn't get anime in the first place. Get into anime if it was not thanks to it doing that, and maybe watch the dub version of High School Dead. And High School Dead's dub, one of the better dubbed animes, by the way. For anybody who wants to say, I've got to say this: for dubbed anime, older anime are way better when they're dubbed. In my personal opinion. Surprisingly, if you're one of those dub lovers of anime, I would fully recommend go and watch older anime because dubbing back then was definitely a lot better. Like personally, a lot better compared to how our generation does it now. So yeah, I just got to mention that. So old anime are better with their dub. But yet again, they also have improved it as well in this generation as well. But I do believe that older dubbing was a lot better. But yeah, because the voices match. But maybe the synchronization of the lips one as great because they definitely have improved synchronization. The synchronization with the lips and stuff. That's what they improved in this generation. But voice wise, I think they did get that film worse. But for voice wise back then, they actually did it very well, which I'm glad they did. So yeah, and so in other words, my personal opinion as a 2010 a new anime watcher, to reply to the Anime Man's video, in my personal opinion, yes, old anime is still good, no matter what time you watch it. It's just that the people, in my personal opinion, you should watch it from the newer generation. Should wait until at least 3 years time of watching anime. Maybe 2 years and a half. Maybe then as well, because that means you're able to understand how anime works. Then I say you can start watching some of these classic animes because it make you fully understand the anime world a lot better. And of course understand the anime community. Now a lot of you might be thinking, wait, come on, why did you have to wait for that long? Because I don't feel like I can wait for that long. If you cannot wait for okay, go right ahead. I'm just gonna tell you that you're gonna end up thinking that anime is shit. There's no way of denying it because you're a new anime watcher. You've not been to anime for a long time. You won't fully understand the greatness of how this anime would be. So I do not really recommend any newer anime watchers right now to watch it old anime until 2 years and a half or 3 years worth of time of watching anime. Then you'll be able to understand how the older generation anime work. So yeah, that's my, you could say, reply to the Anime Man's is old anime still good? And my reply, yes. And like I said, depending on people's personal taste, but also adding to it how long they have been watching anime and when they start watching anime. If they've been watching anime like I said, like beginning of year 2000s or in the 1900s, they would understand a lot better than we do. But if you have started in the year 2010s, I do recommend, yes, go, wait 3 years or 2.5 years, and then move on to showing me watch some old anime. That's what I roughly did. Like there's some old anime I did watch younger. I was like at the main beginner level, so I didn't care much about animation stuff or anything. I just wanted to watch it, and of course I did. So yeah. But late generation, I did take me a while to maybe watch more old anime, but I was able to, for waiting 3 years worth, and understand, and I started enjoying old anime, which I'm glad about. So yeah, and that's all I got to say. Anyway guys, that is my reply video to the Anime Man's video he just uploaded. Is old anime still good? And like I said, my conclusion, like I said, is yes. And also, yeah, depending on when you start watching anime as well, and your personal taste. So yeah, and like I said at the beginning of the video, no, this is not a rant. Like I said, this was not a rant video. I was speaking positive to the Anime Man. I was speaking positives, like positives. I was being positive in this. I was not being criticized to him. I just added to what he could say. I was adding things he could say, and also improving for what he could say from a new anime viewer standpoint. I also, don't forget, I don't hate the Anime Man. I actually like his videos. I really do like his videos. I liked it when he did gameplay. I liked it when he also did skits and stuff. I really liked it in his anime because I actually, from watching him, I cannot deny it has actually helped me improve my anime channel a lot. Like, of course, it's only been recent I've been watching the Anime Man, but I can deny he actually has helped, like, watching his videos. Like, even though he did not personally give it to me, for me watching his videos, I feel like he did personally give it to me in some way. And I was able to, like, understand and learn from him. And, of course, improve my channel a lot better. Which I do give him props, so thanks, Anime Man. Thanks, Anime Man. And also thanks to any other anime YouTubers that I know who I'm also subscribed to. Thank you for me being around, and I was able to understand from you guys. And yeah, and that's all I've got to say. Anyway guys, I hope you guys like it. For Trap Fans today, if you guys want to FML, put your down below. My address there, and yeah, hope you guys like it. Comment, subscribe, and I see you guys later. Bye guys.